I don't know how to start this without sounding like some washed-up internet lunatic, so I'll just say it plain. Don't drive tonight. Not in this weather. Not if the rain's already started. If you're listening to this in your car, pull over. Kill the engine. Turn the key and sit in silence for a second, because what I'm about to tell you doesn't leave you untouched. The story isn't safe. Once you hear it, you'll start noticing things on the road, things you didn't notice before, and that's the problem. See, I thought it was harmless too, just a late night drive, nothing special. And if you're like me, you're probably rolling your eyes already, maybe laughing. Fine, laugh. I laughed too until I realized I wasn't the only one in my car. I'll get to that. But first, let me be clear. This isn't some Reddit creepypasta. This isn't, oh look, another spooky campfire tale. This happened. I didn't write this for entertainment. I'm writing it because I need you to know. Because the more of us who know, the better chance any of us have of surviving. You've probably heard whispers before, haven't you? People disappearing during storms. Skid marks on highways that don't lead to crashes. Drivers swearing they saw someone on the side of the road, only to find nothing there when they looked twice. They don't report it. Or if they do, the cops just shrugged it off. Rain does funny things to the eyes, yeah. That's what they told me too. But it's not funny. It's not a trick of the eyes. The rain carries them. And if you've made it this far into the story, then you've already opened the door. That's how it starts. A warning you don't take seriously. A voice in the dark that plants the idea in your head. You'll start looking harder into the puddles, the mirrors, the shadows under the streetlights. You'll feel watched. That's not paranoia. That's them noticing you back. So here's the deal. You can stop now. You can shut this off, pretend you never heard me. You'll still feel it when the weather turns, but maybe it won't get worse. Maybe, or you can keep listening. You can hear what happened to me on my drive. You can learn the rules before the next storm finds you, because it will. That's the choice you've got. But let me warn you, once I start, you're with me all the way. No turning back, no skipping ahead. The watchers don't like cheats. They want you to take the ride mile by mile, same as me. So buckle up, 'cause the night it happened, I thought I was safe too. Just me, an empty highway, and the sound of the rain. But I was wrong. At first, it was just another rainy night. Nothing special. I'd finished up a shift at work. Picked up a greasy pizza from the place that never cleans its ovens, and decided I'd take the long way home. I always liked the rain, you know. There's something about the way the headlights smear across the wet pavement. It's like the road's trying to paint for you while you drive. It felt cozy, familiar, almost safe. I had the radio on low, one of those stations that plays classic rock at midnight, because they know no one's really listening. My phone buzzed a few times with texts from friends. Stupid group chat jokes that barely made sense sober and definitely didn't after a 12-hour day. I laughed, shook my head, and kept driving. Just me, the road, and the sound of the rain smacking the windshield. Normal, comforting. But even then, looking back, there were signs. The first was the power flicker, not in the car, the streetlights. One moment, the road was lined with that dull sodium glow. The next, total blackness swallowed the highway. My headlights stretched ahead into nothing, like I'd driven straight into a void. Then, just as quick, the lights blinked back on. I told myself it was the storm. Lightning somewhere I couldn't see. Power lines knocked around by wind. Logical, reasonable. Except there hadn't been lightning. No thunder either. Just rain. The second sign came when I slowed for a stoplight at a crossroad that was always empty this late. Red? I drummed my fingers on the steering wheel, stared at the pizza box steaming on the passenger seat, and that's when I heard it. A knock. Not on the car window. No, on the rear windshield. It was soft, muffled by the rain, but unmistakable.
House.
3 taps. I twisted around in my seat, heart already thudding, but the back seat was empty. No footprints on the fogged-up glass. No shadows, no movement, just rain. Tree branch, I muttered to myself, like that made sense on an open stretch of highway with no trees close enough to touch my car. Still, I forced a laugh, shifted my gaze forward, and when the light turned green, I drove on. Faster now. And that's when the third sign showed itself. The phone on the seat lit up, buzzing, screen glowing bright blue against the dark interior. Normally, no big deal. But the thing is, I hadn't touched it. No notifications, no calls, no reason for it to wake up. It just glowed, showing my lock screen, as if someone had brushed their hand across it. I didn't pick it up. Not right away. Looking back, I should have unplugged it right then. Should have turned it off. Thrown it in the glove compartment. Something. Because the moment I finally reached for it, just a reflex, just curiosity. I swear I felt something waiting in that touch. Like the screen had been warmed by fingers that weren't mine. I shook it off. Told myself I was tired. Told myself the rain was just getting in my head. And then I laughed again. Because what else do you do? It was midnight on a Friday. I was alone, exhausted, and nothing really scary had happened. Not yet, but here's the thing. You know that saying, it's only rain? It's what I kept telling myself, over and over, like a prayer. But it didn't matter, because by then the rain had already noticed me. You don't forget the sound of someone tapping from the outside of your second-story window. Wait, let me back up. By the time I got home, the rain was coming down hard enough to turn the driveway into a river. I killed the engine, grabbed the pizza, and sprinted for the front door, soaked through in 10 seconds flat. My shoes squelched as I climbed the stairs, peeling off my jacket, tossing the pizza box onto my desk. Safe, dry, home. That's what I kept telling myself. And for a little while, it was true. I sprawled out on the bed, phone glowing in my hand, scrolling through memes and half-baked arguments in the group chat. Someone sent a video of a raccoon stealing a whole slice of pizza. I laughed. Normal night. But the thing about storms, they like to play tricks with sound. At first I thought it was just rain hammering against the siding, but then tap, 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 slow, deliberate, like knuckles rapping against glass. I froze, phone screen lighting my face blue. The sound had come from the window. My window. Which wouldn't have been that strange if I didn't live on the second floor. I tried to explain it away. Tree branch. Loose shutter. Maybe the wind had thrown some debris up against the house. Logical. Reasonable. Except they didn't have a tree anywhere near that window. Nothing tall enough to reach it. Tap, tap, tap. This time I looked. The curtains were drawn, thin fabric glowing faintly from the streetlight outside. And behind them, just for a second, I thought I saw it. A shadow, too tall to still, pressed close against the glass. My throat went dry. "Get it together," I whispered. "It's just the rain." I didn't move closer, didn't touch the curtains. Instead, I did the dumbest thing possible. I held up my phone and flipped to the camera app, pointing it toward the window like it was going to save me. The lens struggled in the dark, screen glitching as the shadow stretched across the curtain. Then it was gone. Nothing but rain. I let out a shaky laugh, told myself I was imagining things, but then whisper, my name. Not the one I use online. Not the one my friends call me. No, this was different. This was the name only my mother uses when she wants my full attention. Kind of name that cuts right down into you. Hearing it out there, carried on the storm, spoken in a voice that wasn't hers, my stomach dropped through the floor. I bolted for the desk, snatched my phone off the charger, and hit call on the first contact that came to mind. My friend answered on the second ring, groggy and annoyed. Dude, it's midnight, what? Shut up. Just listen. My voice was shaking. You hear that? For a moment, just silence. Then I heard it through the phone's speaker, faint but clear, tap, 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 followed by that same whisper. My name, my friend sucked in a breath. What the hell was that? Is someone outside your house? No, I'm on the second floor. The line went quiet. Too quiet. Then slowly my friend said, I think it just said my name too. That's when I hung up. I didn't even think. Just slammed my thumb against the screen and killed the call. Heart hammering so loud it drowned out the storm. For a while I sat there in the dark, staring at the window, curtains drawn tight, too scared to move. The pizza went cold. My phone buzzed again and again. Friend calling back, but I couldn't bring myself to answer, because I knew whatever was outside. It wasn't just knocking anymore. It was learning. I didn't sleep, not a second. I sat in that dark room with the curtains shut tight, staring at my phone, waiting for the next tap or the next whisper. My friend kept spamming my notifications, texts stacking one after another. Pick up, dude, WTF was that? I heard it again. No joke. It said your name twice, then mine, then it went quiet. I couldn't bring myself to answer, because if it really had said his name too, that meant whatever was out there wasn't bound by walls. It could follow. The storm only got worse. Rain slashed against the glass like fingernails. The power flickered twice, once long enough to make me wonder if I'd be trapped in total blackness. That's when my voicemail pinged, but the notification didn't look right. No missed call, no number, just voicemail. One new. My skin crawled, against every instinct screaming, don't listen. Put the phone to my ear. Static crackling then, underneath words. Slow, distorted word. One. Never looked directly out the window. Yanked the phone away like it had burned me. Heart hammering, I replayed it. The same rules, not advice, not warnings. They sounded like commands. The message went on. Never answer the knocks. Never open the door until the rain stops. The voice wasn't mine. Wasn't anyone I knew. But it felt old, like it had been speaking long before my phone existed. I saved the voicemail, shoved the phone in my pocket, and stumbled downstairs trying to shake the chill. Maybe it was some sick prank. Maybe someone hacked my number. I told myself that over and over until I noticed something else. The house had shifted. Not physically, at least, not in any way I could prove, but the feel was different. It's the air heavier, the corners darker. Every creak of the wood echoed too loud, and then the whispers started again. Not outside this time, inside. They threaded through the rain's rhythm, soft and urgent, like someone trying to be heard through walls. Never ignore. When I speak, I press my palms against my ears. Shut up, but That's the thing. The more I tried not to hear, the louder it got. Like the storm itself was inside me. I stumbled back upstairs, desperate for proof I wasn't losing it. I tore through drawers, files, anything that might explain what was happening. That's when I found it. An old notebook. It had belonged to the neighbor who'd lived here before us. The man who died in the house, though no one ever said how. And on the inside cover, written in shaky block letters, was a list. The rules. Don't look out the window after midnight. Don't answer the knocks. Don't open the door until the rain stops. Don't unplug the phone, she notices. I dropped the book like it had teeth, because that last rule, there was no way he could have known about the voicemail. Unless it had spoken to him too. My breath came in shallow gasps. The rules weren't warnings. They were bindings. Chains keeping whatever was in the rain out. And if you broke them, I thought of the knock at the window, of answering my friend's call, of the whispers saying both our names, that I already broken the rules without knowing them. That's when the lights flickered again and didn't come back. The house plunged into darkness. My phone lit up on its own, screen blazing with a new message. Rule 5. Don't write them down. My hand shook so hard I almost dropped it, because I hadn't written anything. That someone or something knew, I was thinking about it. I slammed the notebook shut, shoved it back in the drawer, heart pounding. It wasn't advice. It wasn't a glitch. It was a command. And I realized too late there were rules I couldn't even say out loud, because saying them might let the rain hear me. The storm groaned, rattling the windows, pressing against the house like it wanted in. And I knew I wasn't just surviving a bad night anymore. I was in the middle of something older, bigger, something that wanted me to break, or one of those rules so it could finally step inside. I told myself I could handle it. Rules are just rules, right? Don't look out the window. Don't answer knocks. Don't open the door until the rain stops. Easy enough. Except, rules don't usually come with the weight of a threat. That voice, distorted, hollow, carried through static, hadn't been advice. It was a command. I locked my phone screen. But my reflection lingered longer than it should have. My face, staring back, but the eyes were wrong, too focused, to knowing. That was when the knock came. Not on the front door, on the inside wall, right behind me. I froze, my chest tight, listening. Rain hammered the windows like fists, drowning the house in white noise, but the knock cut clean through. 3 sharp raps, steady, deliberate. Don't answer knocks, I whispered like a prayer. Another knock answered me. I tried to laugh, but it came out dry, cracked, old pipes, the house shifting. Except the sound wasn't random, it was rhythmic. It wanted me to hear. Then came the voice, my own. Let me in. I dropped my phone. The thud echoed, but I couldn't move to pick it up. My own voice was leaking through the walls. Calm, patient, a perfect copy. Hey, it's okay. Open the door. Every rule I'd read or hallucinated flooded back, clashing in my skull. Don't answer, don't open, don't look. But the curiosity, God, the need to know, was worse than the fear. Because if something was mimicking me, then it already knew how I thought. How long before it became me? The living room shadows stretched long across the carpet, bending against the angles of the lamp. One of them twitched just slightly, like it was breathing. I told myself not to look, but I did anyway. And there I was, standing at the end of the hall. Not a ghost, not a shadow. Me. Same clothes, same damp hair, same posture. The only difference was the smile. It was too wide, like someone had drawn it on with a knife. Finally, it said in my voice, "You heard me?" I backed up until my calves hit the couch. The other me stepped forward, bare feet silent on the wooden floor. I thought about running, but the storm outside pressed against the windows like a living thing. Lightning flashed, and for a split second, both of me lit up like mirror images caught out of sync. Don't come closer. It tilted its head, amused. Why not? You've been waiting for me. I shook my head, but some traitorous part of me knew it wasn't lying. Hadn't I felt it? The weight in the house? The eyes in my reflection? Like I'd been waiting for something to arrive? I'm you, it said. I'm the part that listens. The part that obeys. Obeys what? The rules? The storm? Its smile grew until I thought the skin might split. You already know? I wanted to scream, to call someone, but who would believe me? Storm that punishes curiosity, shadows that breathe. A double that talks like me. No, there was no help coming, so I did the one thing I shouldn't have done. I blinked. And when my eyes opened, it was gone. The hallway was empty. But I wasn't alone, because I could still hear it breathing. Right next to me, I turned slowly, heart pounding so loud I thought it might drown out the rain. Nothing, just the couch. The lamp, my dropped phone on the floor. I crouched, reaching for the phone with shaking fingers. The screen flared awakened. I almost vomited. The lock screen wasn't my reflection anymore. It was the other me, grinning, waiting, and behind its shoulder. A shadow I didn't recognize. Taller, broader. Not me. Not human. The phone buzzed in my hand. A voicemail notification. The sender ID was blank. Unknown. Against my better judgment, I pressed play. Static, then my own voice. Rule 4. If you see yourself in the house, don't let it speak. Don't let it finish the sentence. The message cut off. But it was too late, because I'd already let it speak. I should have left. Doesn't matter where car, motel, even standing out in the storm itself. Anything would have been better than staying, but fear doesn't let you leave. It roots you. It convinces you that maybe if you wait it out, it'll all stop on its own. The house groaned like a ship on black water. My phone buzzed in my hand, but when I checked, the screen was blank. No time, no battery icon. Just that same image, my double staring, frozen mid-smile. Except this time, its lips moved. You're already wet. I dropped the phone like it burned me. The rain had always been outside, pummeling the roof, crawling at the windows. Now I heard it inside, not dripping, not leaking, falling. A soft patter against the hardwood floor, against the furniture, against the back of my neck. I spun around, nothing. Dry. Perfectly dry. But my socks squelched when I shifted my weight. The carpet was soaked. I staggered back, staring as dark stains spread outward from my footprints, rippling like puddles on pavement. The ceiling creaked, and with it, a drop fell onto my cheek. Cold, sharp. Then another, and another. The storm wasn't outside anymore. It was in the house. Lightning flared through the blinds, and the room was different. Not rearranged this time, replaced. Furniture older, water swollen, wallpaper curling, mold breathing in the corners. Like the storm had aged the house 50 years in a second. A laugh bubbled up from the kitchen. My laugh. I told myself not to look. That's always where it starts. The look, the glimpse, the curiosity, but the laugh pulled me like a hook in the chest. The kitchen light flickered, shadows jumping across the walls, and in the middle of the room stood the other me. But it wasn't smiling anymore. It was soaked, clothes clinging, water dripping from its hair in steady rivulets, and its eyes empty. Rainwater poured from them like broken faucets, streaming down its cheeks. The puddle around its feet stretched wider, touching the fridge, the counter, swallowing the floor. I stumbled back, breath ragged. "Stay away." The double tilted its head. "Already told you, I'm not coming closer." The water carried its voice-rippling words, echoing words, like the rain itself was speaking. "I don't have to." The ceiling above sagged, then split open with a wet tear. Water spilled down in a choking torrent, smashing the lamp, flooding the living room. The storm had chosen its doorway, and it was every crack in the house. I tried the front door. Locked, jammed, no key, no handle. Like it had never been a door at all. I clawed at it, screamed at it, but the wood was soft, pulpy, breaking under my hands like soggy bread. When I pulled back, my palms weren't covered in splinters. They were covered in worms. Dozens of pale, writhing worms, slick with rainwater, twisting between my fingers. I screamed and flung them off, but they only vanished into the air, evaporating like mist. The water was at my ankles now, icy, rushing with its own current. Somewhere in the drowned house, a phone rang. From the floor where I dropped it, 1 ring, 2, 3. I waded through the water, grabbed it, lifted it to my ear. Static, then a voice, my voice. "You can't breathe in her lungs forever." The line went dead. I didn't understand till I felt it. The house exhaled. Not the wind, not the storm. Her long, cold breath that rattled the walls and pushed water deeper into my chest. My ribs locked, lungs heavy, every inhale laced with rain. I coughed, sputtered, bent double in the rising flood. The other me stepped forward, water splitting around its legs, crouched eye to eye, water still streaming from its sockets. Drown with me. Its mouth opened wide, wider than a human jaw should, and water gushed out in a violent torrent, slamming into my face, forcing down my throat. My own reflection was drowning me. I thrashed, gagged, felt my chest balloon with cold pressure. My vision blurred, shadows twisting, bending. For a second I thought I saw more figures in the water, dozens of them, all of them with my face. And behind them, towering and formless, something vast leaned down through the collapsing ceiling. A woman's outline, her hair a curtain of rain, her voice a rushing flood. She had found me. Darkness closed in. My chest gave out. My last breath wasn't air, it was rain. I don't know how long I was gone. Minutes, hours, days. Time isn't time anymore. It's water, it runs, it floods, drags everything with it. But I woke up, not in my bed, not in the house. I woke up here, with you. Yeah, don't look around. You won't see me in your room, not yet. This isn't a story anymore. It's not entertainment, it's infection. Every word I speak, every sound you let crawl into your ears, she hears it too. You think I'm being dramatic? That this is just another creepypasta? Okay, then explain this. How did your phone just glitch just now, while I said that? Go ahead, check it, I'll wait. See? She likes to play. The storm wasn't mine alone. It was never just my house. It's That's the lie, the trick that makes you think you're safe. Oh, that's just some unlucky guy in some unlucky town. No, that's what she wants you to think. That you're watching from a distance. But distance doesn't matter. Stories travel. And the moment you hear the rules, the moment you know them, the storm knows you back. That's why I can't tell you everything. Some rules are unspoken for a reason. If I said them out loud, you wouldn't sleep tonight. Hell, maybe you won't sleep anyway. Maybe that's the only way to stay safe. There even is a safe. Don't believe me? Fine, here's one, just one. Never ever look at your window during a storm. Doesn't matter if you hear tapping, scratching, voices. Don't look. Why? Because if you do, you'll see her reflection. And the second you do, she'll know your name. Oh, you're wondering how I know yours? That's not me. That's her. You felt it, didn't you? The pulse at the back of your skull. The cold shift in your room's air. That wasn't the draft. That wasn't the house settling. It was her leaning closer. You think you're just listening to me? But I can hear you too. And so can she. Stop the video if you want. Scroll away. Pretend this didn't happen. But you'll still dream of water tonight. You'll still wake to wet footprints on your floor. You'll still hear her voice, my voice, calling your name from somewhere it shouldn't. That's the contagion. Not a germ. Not a curse. Story. Stories spread faster than disease. Here's where you come in. Comment below. Tell me if she's spoken to you yet. Tell me if you've seen her hair against the glass. Maybe if we map it, if enough of us compare notes, we'll figure out how to stop her. Or maybe she just wants more of us paying attention. Either way, you're already in. You're part of this now. Wait, do you hear that? Don't move. Don't breathe too loud. There it is again. A knock. Not mine. Not yours. Check your door. No, don't check your door. 3 knocks. That's how she asks. Never answer. Never. Shit. She's here. I don't have much time. My voice, it's not mine anymore. She's taking it, like she took the house. Like she took my reflection. Listen, please. If you're still here. If you're still listening, it's already too late. But maybe, just maybe, you can last longer than me. Maybe.